All right, everyone, ready for a deep dive. Today, we're going deep into the future of software development. And trust me, it's getting interesting.
Interesting might be an understatement. We might not even recognize coding in the future.
You're kidding? That's exactly what we're talking about today, right? We're breaking down this article, The Great Coding Shift, how AI and no code are reshaping the industry.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts. The way we build tech is about to change forever.
AI is changing everything, but are we headed for a world without coders? Or is something else going on?
It's the question everyone's asking. But it's more about a shift, not just replacement. Like, think about this whole no-code movement.
No code. Sure, I've played around with those website builders. Is that what you mean? But this article said that by 2025, 70% of new apps will be built with no code or low code. 70%. Are you
It's
serious?
70% by 2025. That's
Dang.
huge. But honestly, it makes sense. Businesses need to move faster these days, and coding can be slow and expensive. No code changes that.
So it's not just easier, it's about anyone being able to build tech. You don't need to be a coding whiz.
That's the idea. It's about giving anyone the power to build their ideas no matter their background. Everyone can be a developer.
It reminds me of when I tried building a website. I was lost in code for weeks. I could have used these no-code tools back then. And speaking of game changers, AI is stepping onto the scene in a big way. So we're talking generative AI, Gen AI, right? Not just AI doing tasks, but creating stuff. Gen AI can actually write code from like human
It's
instructions.
like you're talking to your computer, telling it what you want to build, and it just does it.
Wait, seriously, like I could say, build me an app to find the best pizza places, and it'll just, I don't know, write the code for me.
That's the idea. It's like having a personal software developer, but it's AI. The CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang, he said something like, AI is going to close the tech gap. He thinks soon you won't need to be a coder, you'll be a prompt engineer.
Okay, hold on, back up. Prompt engineer.
Mhm.
What in the world is that?
Basically, it means you got to learn to talk to the AI. You have to give it the right instructions, the perfect prompt, so it gets what you want built.
So instead of code, we're writing instructions for the AI. Interesting. It's like those voice assistants, trying to get them to understand what you actually mean, but for apps.
You got it. Huang even joked that his wife, she's like a master prompt engineer because she's so good at getting him to do stuff just by asking the right way.
All right, I think I'm starting to get it. So you have people using no-code tools and AI that can build stuff from simple instructions.
Wow.
The possibilities are huge, but if anyone can do this, who really matters in this new world?
The million-dollar question.
Yeah.
It's the unsung heroes of tech, the ones who are even more important now, UX designers.
Seriously. UX designers, I thought for sure they'd be out of a job with all this AI stuff.
Nope, not at all. See, just because anyone can build an app doesn't mean those apps will be any good. That's where UX designers come in, making sure those apps are actually usable.
So they're like quality control for the AI app explosion, making sure it's not a total mess.
More than that, they're the bridge between us, the humans, and what AI can build. They make sure the app is actually good for the person using it. And that's even more important with so many apps out there.
So it's not just about the app existing, it's got to be well designed, easy to use, actually solve a problem for the person. Good UX design, that's the difference between an app you love and one you delete immediately.
You know it. The article talked about Clippy. Remember that annoying virtual assistant from Microsoft Office? Always popping up at the worst times.
Clippy, oh man, how could I forget? It looks like you're trying to write a letter. No, Clippy, it looks like I'm trying to meet a deadline.
Exactly. Good idea, but terrible execution.
That's what I mean, even with AI writing code. You need someone to make sure it makes sense for a human to use. AI might write code, but it doesn't understand people.
Which leads to the next big question. What does this mean for, like, jobs and all that? The article hinted at some major changes in the next few years, so what kind of changes are we talking about? What's coming down the pipeline? Well, the article talked about companies searching for this new kind of expert, right? Like UX designers who speak AI.
UX designers who speak AI. That's wild. So it's not just about designing apps anymore.
It's bigger than that now. You're designing for AI, shaping how people experience it, maybe even writing those prompts we were talking about, or figuring out how people use AI-powered stuff.
So AI isn't replacing coders, it's changing what coders need to be good at.
Right. The article thinks human coders, they'll focus on the big picture stuff,
Mm.
problem solving, being creative, making strategies, the stuff AI can't do yet.
This isn't some far off thing. This is happening right now. It's kind of mind blowing when you think about it.
Totally. It makes you think, what do we need to learn to keep up with all this change?
I know, right? Got to stay ahead of the curve somehow. But speaking of adapting, the article had this example about no code and AI that really caught my attention. It was about VR and AR. Feels like that whole world is about to explode.
Oh, for sure. You've got platforms like ShapesXR popping up,
Yeah.
letting anyone create VR and AR experiences without coding. It's pretty amazing.
No code, but supercharged. But how is that different from the tools developers already use? Like, what about game engines?
Good point. See, those older tools, they weren't built for just anyone to use. They've had to adapt to this no-code thing.
Hmm.
But ShapesXR, it's made for everyone, not just expert developers.
Okay, but even with no code, you still need good UX design, right? Especially in VR and AR where it's so immersive.
You got it. The article even talked about this platform, Erasmus Studio. They had awesome AR tools, but the user experience wasn't there. So even with great tech, you still need a human touch.
So true. Well, I think our brands are officially full. That was a lot to unpack.
We covered a lot of ground, that's for sure.
So to sum it all up, AI and no code are changing everything. Anyone can build software now, but that just makes UX design even more important. It's not just about building anymore, it's about building it right.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So for everyone listening, the question is, what will you build?
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for exploring the future of software development with us. Until next time.